What's up everybody, Rick and Anna here, and we have a special announcement.
We're going to do a Q&A.
Yes, we've passed the 1000 subscriber milestone.
Yay!
Thank you for
Thank you
everybody
all.
who subscribed. And in order to celebrate, one of the things we're going to be doing is a Q&A that we'll be having on July 24th, 2020. So if you're watching this way in the future, ignore this message. And so we're asking you guys to ask your questions in the comment section below.
Right down there below this video. Ask your question.
So whatever you want to ask, whether it's personal question about me, Anna, the both of us, or about the bucket list, ask away, and we will pick some of them to answer in our Q&A again. That will happen on July 24th, 2020. Yeah, Anna, excited?
I'm very excited. I can't wait to see what people want to know about us and about our bucket list.
So again, ask your question in the comment section below, and see you guys at the Q&A. That was it for the announcement, and now enjoy the video.
Come have fun with us and don't forget to subscribe.
What's up everybody, I'm Rick.
And I'm Anna, and welcome to our review of the 1935 movie Top Hat. To all of you who are new here, hi and welcome to our channel. Please subscribe to have fun with us. This channel is dedicated to Rick and mine, a bucket list of goals and dreams that we hope to accomplish in our lifetime. And one of those goals for us, Rick, is to watch every movie that was nominated for Best Picture at the Academy Awards from 1927 to 2028.
Indeed.
That is 101 years of Academy Awards Best Picture nominees and their respective winners. And today we are at the year 1935, which is the 8th Academy Award year. To this day we have watched 62 movies.
Not bad.
Not at all, right? And we have also discussed one movie that is not available to us because it's only available at UCLA, and one lost movie.
Still looking for it. Call me if you find it.
For those of you who don't know it yet, the way these reviews are going is that the first part will be a spoiler-free part in which we'll give our top-level appreciation and some commentary on the movie without spoiling the story. And the second part will be a spoiler-filled part in which we will deep dive into certain scenes, certain elements of the movie while spoiling the story. However, do not worry if you don't want to get spoiled. We will warn you before we get to the spoiler-filled part. And at that point, you can head at the timestamp in the description box below. That will take you directly to the end of this video, to the ranking section.
Indeed.
Because every year we rank the nominee movies of that year according to our liking and preferences, obviously. But before we move on to all of that, let us start by giving some information about the movie in the trivia section.
Tell me about this movie. What did we watch?
The 1935 movie Top Hat is an RKO Radio Pictures screwball musical comedy film. It came out on August 29, 1935. The story of the movie is original, but it was inspired by two plays, Scandal in Budapest by Sándor Farago and A Girl Who Dares by Aladar Laszlo.
Two different plays that they put together?
They didn't put them together, they just drew some inspiration from them. The movie is original.
Okay.
The movie was directed by Mark Sandrich, who is also the director of The Gay Divorcee. And it stars Fred Astaire as Jerry Travers, whom we've also seen in the movie The Gay Divorcee. Ginger Rogers as Dale Tremont, whom we've also seen in The Gay Divorcee and in 42nd Street. Edward Everett Horton as Horace Hardwick, whom we've also seen in
Let me guess.
The Gay Divorcee and The Front Page. Helen Broderick as Madge Hardwick, and Eric Rhodes as Alberto Bedini, whom we've also seen in The Gay Divorcee. So that is the topic of conversation. What did we watch here? The Gay Divorcee?
I mean, we'll get into it later, but yeah.
The movie was nominated for 4 Academy Awards. First off, Best Picture, or as it was known back then, Outstanding Production, which is why we have watched it and we're reviewing it right now. Second nomination, Best Art Direction for Carol Clark and Van Nest Polglass. Best Dance Direction for Hermes Pan for the dances Piccolino and Top Hat.
That's an interesting one. Best dance direction. How many movies back then had dance that they had an award for?
I guess that doesn't exist anymore.
Best dance?
No.
I don't think so.
I don't know, I have no idea.
No.
And Best Music Original Score for Irving Berlin for the song Cheek to Cheek. The movie was a great financial success and it broke a lot of records when it came out. On its initial release, it grossed $3 million, which is a lot for the time.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It became RKO's most profitable film of the decade. Yeah.
Up to now or?
No, of that decade.
Okay. No, but up to 35 or of the whole decade?
No, the whole decade of the 1930s. And it was the second most profitable film of 1935. The movie was selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry by the Library of Congress, being deemed culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. And a little piece of interesting information about the production of the movie here. The composer, Irving Berlin, had a unique contract negotiated for this movie in which he retained the copyright to all of the songs.
Oh.
Also, he wrote all of the songs of the movie and he retained the copyright for all of them. And on top of that, he was guaranteed 10% of all the profits exceeding $1,250,000 for the movie.
That's a very specific number.
Yeah, so anything that exceeded this, he got 10% of the profit. That's a lot. And another interesting fact about the writer of the music, at the time when he wrote the songs of this movie, he hadn't yet learned music theory. So he couldn't write and read music.
Not uncommon, a lot of artists can't.
Yeah, I suppose. But, if you listen to the songs, they're really good. Really, really good. So it is impressive.
Yeah.
So that was it for the information that I had about the movie. And let us now move on to our spoiler-free section.
No spoilers.
So, without spoiling this movie, Dick, what did you think of it?
I mean, the movie spoils itself. If you've seen The Gay Divorcee, you've seen this movie. So this is an interesting case, and I'm guessing we're gonna have an interesting discussion at the end too with the ranking. This movie, very good, very entertaining, great songs, great performances. I have almost nothing bad to say about the movie except one thing.
You've seen it before.
I've seen it before.
Yeah, that is true. It kind of feels like they discovered, like a key to success. Like, okay, this kind of movie, this exact type of movie with this kind of story, with this kind of characters, people like them. So let's keep making it.
Yeah.
That's not to say that the story itself is unoriginal, I feel like
it's not the exact same story, but it's similar enough that you feel like...
Exactly. It feels like the setting, the relations between the characters, even the comedy of like situations,
We're retreading the same ground here, And I guess to make a poor analogy, a lot of people would say that about some of the Marvel movies,
Yeah.
Like Iron Man and Ant-Man are not the same movie, but they're very, very similar.
Right.
They retread the same beats.
Yeah.
It's like a formula, and then we change some of the details, but overall, if you've seen one, you've seen the other. It's an interesting thought process. It did its job. It was very entertaining. The songs are totally different, so the songs are unique in that sense too. But also the same issue that I had with the previous movie, which was some of the misunderstanding comedic element dragged on just a tiny bit too long,
Like, I don't know. I actually quite enjoyed this kind of comedy. It doesn't feel, realistic.
Yeah.
It's not like this could actually happen. I mean, at some point, like you said before when we discussed about The Gay Divorcee, at some point someone asked the question, like, wait, what are you talking about?
Exactly.
It feels like we're not talking about the same thing. But I don't mind it as comedy, in a comedy movie. I quite enjoy it. It's funny for me.
No, and I understand that it's supposed to be out there. You're not supposed to believe that this could actually happen. Even most of the characters, they're too out there to be real.
Yeah.
And it's on purpose. I'm just saying, like, I would have cut it short just a bit before,
I see.
It dragged on, maybe one or two scenes too long of them not understanding that they're not talking about the same thing.
Yeah, I guess. So, like, just sum up a little bit about the story. I did find it very interesting. Like, it's interesting to see where these relationships are going. It's interesting that it feels like it's very fluid, They move from one place to another. The characters meet, never really all of them until the very end.
Yeah.
But still, you feel like they all know each other. So I feel like it's very well written, from this point of view.
The story was again entertaining and funny at most time, and you're right that the relationship between the characters is also very funny. It's just the same also.
Yeah. So let us talk a little bit more specifically about the performances. What did you think about that?
Oh, they were great, and I feel like maybe even better in some cases. I felt like Rogers, I liked her more here.
I thought so too.
Yeah, we're talking acting performances.
Yeah.
Because in terms of singing, she was already very good, and she was good at the acting and the Gay Divorcee too. But I feel like here she was better.
I feel like here she felt her character more.
Yeah.
You know.
Fred Astaire always.
I can't like I'm falling in love here. I love watching him. Like he's so good. He's so smooth and like seamless all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And all the secondary character. Here we have an original character that was in a Gay Divorcee, Marge.
Yeah.
I thought her character was also delightful to watch.
Great character.
The way the actress portrayed her in moments where like she needs to look like she's not bothered by what's happening, and then to have that switch when she shows that truly she's a bit bothered, you know, and she plays that very well. That transition.
That is true. Yeah. A big part of this movie is the song and dancing performances.
Yeah.
It's what makes this movie, you know, really. And you're gonna really achieve that without having that set that they did. Did you notice it? Like when they're dancing, when they're doing the dancing performances, like the whole set, everything, it was quite impressive.
Which performance? All of them?
All of them. They all had different sets. Well, I was just like wondering what did you think of that?
Like the set where they were dancing?
Yeah. So for some of the dances, they had to build entire sets, the sides like of a whole street or something like this. You know, because it's all filmed on a set.
Yeah.
For the dances for them to be able to dance.
To move around.
Yeah. So if you remember, for example, the most acclaimed one of the movie Cheek to Cheek, that set is massive. You can see because they move around a lot.
Yeah.
Like they cross a lot of space. So
I never thought about it watching it. You know, I just assumed they're in a restaurant at the hotel.
No. Everything is a set, and it's a.
No, I knew it was a set, but I didn't think about the size of it. You know.
Ah, okay, I see.
They're filming that scene at the restaurant, and they're dancing at the restaurant. You know, but yeah, now that you mention it, it must have been a huge set.
So actually, apparently the Fred Astaire movies are known to often have at least one scene like this, where it's this like massive set, where you'd have this like massive set, usually on like a white or light color background, that he dances across.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I didn't ask you. What did you think of probably your favorite part of this movie, the songs?
Yeah, the songs were great.
Did you know any of them?
No. Did you?
I knew Cheek to Cheek.
Oh,
I've heard it before.
But they were catchy, they were good.
Yeah.
And also, you know, as a musical, they portrayed the story elements very well, which is always important in a musical. Like I'm always a bit tick off when there's a musical and the song has nothing to do with anything that's happening, you know?
Yeah.
But here that's not the case, so it's nice.
And I do like that compared to other musicals that we've seen, this one and also the Gay Divorcee does seamlessly put the songs and the dances into the story. Like it's that smooth transition, you know. There is a part where he's literally just talking, and then the end of the sentence is the beginning of the song.
Yeah.
And he just like keeps on singing.
No, he's a smooth dancer, smooth talker, smooth singer.
Yeah, definitely.
I love them. And Rogers too.
So that is about it for what I had in mind for the spoiler-free conversation. Is there anything else that you'd like to mention or talk about?
No, this is a great movie actually, and you know I'm kind of conflicted because it's so similar to the previous one, but
it feels like it's a very good movie. It just, because we've seen something very similar before, it doesn't really excite you as much. You kind of feel like you wish that it had some like different element to make you be like, oh, I didn't expect that.
This is new, and
it doesn't really have that.
In a way, if we had watched this before,
I probably would have liked this one more to begin with.
Yeah, we would have felt like the other one is
Yeah.
derivative, even though it came before.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird in that sense, but hey.
Yes, and we have, I think, a few more Fred Astaire movies on our list in the years to come. I'm curious to see
Yeah.
like what those will be like. I really want to see that.
Because at first, when I noticed that the whole cast was almost the same, I was like, oh, that's interesting. They're just reusing the cast, but they're going to be in a new setting, new story, etc. Which they are, but not really.
But not really. Yeah, that's true. So to conclude this section, would you recommend this movie?
Yeah, definitely.
I would recommend it too. I think it's a masterpiece in terms of comedy and musical wise. And if you haven't seen another Fred Astaire movie from the time, it will be something new and different. So
yeah, go watch it.
Definitely worth it. So for those of you who don't want to get spoiled in the coming section, I invite you to head out to the timestamp in the description box below and go to the end of this video to the ranking section. And for those of you who've watched the movie or who don't mind getting spoiled, let us move on to the spoiler-filled section.
Spoiler.
So Rick, let us begin this section the way we always do. I will give you a short synopsis of the movie. An American dancer comes to Britain and falls for a model, but she mistakes him for his goofy producer. So yeah, that's what the movie is about. I don't really know where to start this conversation really.
So maybe like we've turned around it a bit without spoiling, but basically what are the similarities and differences here? And to me, the fact that the story beats are almost identical to the previous movie. So we have Fred Astaire meeting Ginger's character, at first harassing her kind of, and she's not interested.
Yeah.
And then when she does become interested, she gets into this misunderstanding about who
he actually
is. And then that goes on throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Until at the very end, everything is cleared up by the help of the butler too.
Right, exactly.
It's very similar beats, and I went around the whole middle section of the movie, but we could have made connections to what happened in the Get Divorcee throughout the movie. So I guess it's not exciting, like you were saying. Like, you feel like you know where this is going and how it's going to end, but also that's not really the point of the movie.
I feel like even if the scenes are kind of predictable, it doesn't make them any less entertaining.
Yeah.
Like you can't wait to see when is he gonna like sing, or the lines too, like the dialogue. It's very well written in my opinion. And that helps a lot with the scenes. Like I said, even if they're predictable, the dialogue is still entertaining,
Yeah, so I guess here the issue is like between being original and being entertaining.
Right.
And this is definitely entertaining. It's not original.
Yeah.
So you have to weigh what's important to you when watching a movie like this. In terms of like more specific scenes, you were talking about the sets earlier.
Yes.
I was also very surprised by like the change of location to Italy, Venice it seems. The use of, again, they were probably inside the whole time, but outdoor location with canals and water and like even boats to make it seem like they were really there when they were really probably in a LA studio.
We were mentioning that, right? The scene for the dance Cheek to Cheek is that where like they're in a restaurant and then they move across a bridge, actually over a canal at some point, and then they end up in this like open, I don't know, space that kind of looks like a stage. I'm not exactly sure. So for that specific set, they had to build a canal.
Oh.
And a bridge, like 2 bridges across it, and 2 stages on each side of the canal. It's a massive thing to build.
Yeah, work just for the one
right,
scene. Yeah.
Exactly. Also, that scene had an interesting element that I would like to talk about. The dress. Ginger Rogers' dress that she wears, the one with the feathers all around, Sometimes I'm looking up information about such elements, and I realize how much we're actually losing by not seeing the colors of the movie.
Oh, what color was the dress?
It was blue. That's not the point. But because when I read, for example, testimonies from people who were on the set, they're talking a lot about the contrast. There was always there between like a very like light color white set and the black suits, of the men dancing. Also the color of the dress, which was apparently very impressive. All of these elements like that we don't actually get because that's how it is.
It's interesting that they would put so much effort into it when it's not seen.
Exactly.
I guess you can kind of feel the shades of black and white, but still.
Right, but I mean, I wouldn't make a difference between a light blue and light pink dress, for example. They would all look the same shade of gray, probably. Yeah. The dress, particularly, was a design of Ginger Rogers.
Oh.
And she insisted to wear that dress on stage, like during this performance. And apparently, there was a malfunction with the dress.
What happened?
The feathers were flying out of it, like off of it.
They're feathers.
I suppose, yeah. But it did cause a lot of tension and problems while filming the scene.
Because she wanted to wear it and people are like, hey, this is not practical.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And because she insisted so much and because the production and Fred Astaire himself opposed to it up until the last moment, they also didn't do any rehearsals with the dress. So when they actually had to film the scene and she put on the dress for the first time and everybody noticed that feathers are starting to like fly around, it kind of became a big issue.
An issue.
Yeah. But yeah, that's like, I guess things like this can happen, right?
And the end is just a story, they won't even remember. They'll remember the $3 million maid.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's kind of difficult to think about specific scenes to talk about this movie because there's really nothing like that...
that stands out. It's really about the songs and
exactly. Like we could go on and talk about the songs and the sets and everything all day long. They're very beautiful, very entertaining and interesting to watch and listen to. But
and because we've mentioned it, it kind of feels like we've seen that movie before, so nothing jumps at you as that scene that was particularly. So yeah, I feel like we've went around and talked about what we wanted to talk about.
Yeah, so I guess that would probably be it for our spoiler-filled conversation. Once more, we recommend this movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely recommend it. So let us now move on to the ranking section. The ranking of the 1935 Best Picture nominated movies as of now is: at number 6, The Lives of a Bengal Dancer. At number 5, Alice Adams. At number 4, Naughty Marietta. At number 3, Ruggles of Red Gap. At number 2, Captain Blood. And at number 1, The Informer. So, Rick, where would you put this movie on this list?
Where would I put it? So, I'm still hesitating. Maybe you'll be able to cut between those, unless you have a totally other idea than me.
Let's see how it goes.
I'm hesitating between 3 and 2.
Okay.
2 and 3.
Yeah.
And my reasoning is I actually like this better than Captain Blood. But Captain Blood is an original movie.
Yeah.
That tries new things.
Yeah.
Well, new things in terms of what we saw. We didn't even see every movie that was made back then, but still. And the confine of this ranking and movies we've seen before, it seems like Captain Blood was trying something new. We held it as one of the story of the genre of these adventure movies.
Right.
But I enjoyed watching this movie more. Like I had more negative things to say about Captain Blood. So it's kind of a...
I kind of feel the same way. Mm-hmm. And as much as I loved this movie and I loved the performances and the dances and the songs and everything else, I have to give it to Captain Blood, frankly, because it's ambitious,
Yeah.
It's an ambitious movie.
It's easier to make mistakes when you're taking chances.
Yeah, exactly. If you think about the battle scenes, the scenes at sea, they're massive, right? Yeah. And sure, there are massive things here, but it feels like Captain Blood just did more on that.
It feels safe.
Yeah, exactly. This movie feels a little bit safer. So yeah, I have to agree with you. I actually enjoyed watching this movie more than Captain Blood. I would watch this movie again. Like in a few years when I'm like, let's watch a good, funny, entertaining movie from the 30s. I would probably go with this one rather than Captain Blood.
Yeah.
But Captain Blood was more impressive. Yeah, I have to go. I would put this one at number 3.
I guess we're in an agreement there.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
The new ranking of the 1935 Academy Awards Best Picture nominees as of now and according to our liking and preferences is at number 7, The Lives of a Bengal Lancer, at number 6, Alice Adams, at number 5, Naughty Marietta, at number 4, Ruggles of Red Gap, at number 3, Top Hat, at number 2, Captain Blood, and at number 1, The Informer.
There you go.
That is it. You happy with it?
Yeah?
Yeah, me too. Okay, that is great. That being said, that was it for our review of the 1935 movie Top Hat. Thank you so much to everyone for watching our review. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't done it yet. And also don't forget that this channel is not just about reviewing movies, it's a bucket list channel in which we try to realize the goals and dreams that are on our bucket list. And they are all so varied. We do cooking, learning new things, traveling, self-growth, and we make videos about all of them and bring them to you. So yeah, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Also ring the notification bell so that you can be notified next time when we drop a new video. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and leave it in the comment section below. What did you think of this movie? Once again, thank you so much for watching and we'll see you all next time. Bye!
Bye!